What's happening, jigheads? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you checked out my most recent video, you guys know I was out there catching a bunch of panfish here recently. So today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be pickling some of those bluegill. I'm bringing you all with me. Stick around. All right, guys, let's get going on this. I'm excited to try it. If any of you guys have ever had pickled fish, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. It's going to be about 10 days before I actually get to try this. This is quite a long process, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really tasty, so we'll jump in here. I got 24 bluegill fillets, and what we're going to do is we're just going to cut these into cracker-sized pieces, just about like that. We're going to go through, get that done real quick. And yeah, I don't know what came across me, but I was just out there fishing the other day and thought, man, you know what? I bet you there's some good pickled fish recipes out there. So I got on YouTube, did some searching around, and came across one that I think is going to be really good. So that's what we're going to be trying out. I'm going to make a few tweaks to it, make it a little bit spicy. Should be pretty darn tasty. I got a couple people lined up that are ready to try it. Now, one tip on this, guys, you got to make sure that you freeze your fish for at least 3 days. I was actually going to make this with the fresh fish that I caught in the previous episode, but did a little bit more research, found out that it's definitely beneficial to freeze this for 3 days. Reason being, these fish do carry some parasites, so freezing them for 3 days does kill all of the parasites and make this safe. Research is always a good thing. Keeps you from getting in trouble, right? All right, guys, we got all this fish cubed up. Now, to start this process, we're going to be putting all of this cubed fish into a half-gallon mason jar. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some fish in. We're going to put some salt. Fish, salt, fish, salt. We got a 1 1/3 cup of kosher salt. I couldn't find any pickling salt, so kosher salt does work fine. You just don't want to use any salt with iodine in it. And then once we get all of this in the jar, we're going to top it off with vinegar. So we get a little bit of fish, and we hit it with a little bit of salt, a little more fish, and a little more salt. We're just going to go ahead and add the rest of this fish. I'm making kind of a small batch today. The recipe that I found calls for a half-gallon of fish. I'm not really 100% certain that I'm going to like this. Most likely I will, but I'm not going to waste a bunch of good fillets if this is something that I don't care for. So we're only doing just a small batch this time. If it's something that I truly enjoy, then we'll make a bigger batch next time. So we've got all that salt in there. Now we're just going to top this off with vinegar. We're just going to fill it right up to the top there, just like that. Next step, super easy, guys. We're going to just simply put this in the refrigerator. We're going to mix it around just a little bit here real quick. But we're going to put this in the refrigerator for 5 days. Each day we're going to go down, give this a little spin, mix it up real good, and then after that I will check back in with you and give you the next steps. All right, guys, 5 days later, we have let this fish brine in a mix of vinegar and salt, like I mentioned earlier, for 5 days. We mix this every day. Turn the jar a couple times, and we've taken this out. We've put it in an ice bath, let it rest for about an hour in an ice bath. In the meantime, we mixed up some brine. And this brine is a mix of 5 cups vinegar, 2½ cups of sugar, half a jar of pickling spice. We've got a tablespoon of crushed red pepper flake and a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And we've got about a 1/4 cup of white Zinfandel mixed in there. We brought that to a boil, let it simmer for about 5 minutes, and now we're ready to assemble this thing. We're ready to make some pickled fish. Are you guys ready? So in the blue bowl, I've got some bluegill, and in the black bowl, I've got some crappie. When I started this video, I had the bag of bluegill, and I decided I need a little bit more fish, so I thawed out some crappie, and we got those brined as well. So we're gonna make some bluegill and crappie. We're gonna jar them separately and see maybe which one tastes different. I don't think they'll taste any different, but I figured I'd keep them separate and just see how it goes. The fish, super firm, extremely white after being in that brine for 5 days in that vinegar and salt. We're gonna layer this in the jar, put a layer of fish, and then we're gonna hit it with some onions. We got some sweet onions that we've sliced just big enough for a cracker, and then I'm making this one spicy. You all know me, I like a little spice to my things in life. So we're gonna hit it with some jalapenos too. And we got some fish and some onions and some jalapenos. And we're just gonna layer this up just like this until we get these jars full. We're gonna give this brine just a little bit of a mix, get some of that pickling spice and red pepper flake all mixed up. We're gonna pour that right over the top of our fish here that we've got layered with onions and jalapenos, and we're gonna fill that right up to the top. Just like that. Slap the lid on it. Stuff this thing in your refrigerator for 5 days. Don't touch it. You can mix it a little bit if you want to, but don't touch it for 5 days. And this is a refrigerator safe method. Please don't put this on your shelf. It's not shelf stable. I do a lot of canning from my garden, and I know better than that. Hopefully you guys do too. I got the lid labeled with bluegill, and we're gonna put this in the fridge. I'm gonna layer this crappie up. I'm hoping I got a little bit extra because I'm gonna send this little jar home with my brother. He's here tonight helping me film, and we're gonna send that home with him so he can try some of this too. I'll check back in with you guys in 5 days. We're gonna give this a try, and I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be pretty tasty. Five days later, y'all, we're ready to taste this stuff, man. I've got a little bluegill over here, little crappie over here. We got some onions and jalapenos out of the jar. This stuff's been soaking in the pickling brine after 5 previous days in the vinegar and salt brine, and we're ready to try this stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. It looks really good, smells really good. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, guys, that is super tasty. That is money. A little bit sweet, a little bit tangy, got a little bit of that heat from that jalapeno, crunch from that onion. Oh man, that crappie was a really good bite. Let's try the bluegill. Oh yeah, that is excellent. I gotta say, guys, that's out of the park tasty. It's not super fishy. It's not really slimy. I've heard a lot of people say that pickled fish is a little bit slimy. Not at all. Just a real mild fish flavor with, like I said, all kinds of spice and sweetness. It's definitely something that I enjoy. We'll keep these around. These jars probably won't last long. If you guys enjoy pickles or fish, put them together, man. Try some pickled fish. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And remember, folks, you can't catch them sitting on the couch. I'll see you all on the next one.